All right, so we're live. um, Good morning and welcome to wherever we are live. I'm Nancy Sheed of Sheed Communications, and I'm very, very, very excited to be sitting here chatting with Laura Vanderkam, who is a friend, client, mother, writer, author, and podcaster times three. We're sneaking in some time with Laura in between her busy schedule to chat about her newest podcast called The New Corner Office, which launched last week. So welcome, Laura.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to be quick because I know you've got a lot going on in quarantine time at your house with everybody home. So the New Corner Office launched a week ago, and it is a weekday podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about who it's for, what it's about?
Yeah, well, the New Corner Office is a short every weekday morning podcast that gives a quick tip on how to thrive in this new world of work. And it originally came out of the fact that a lot of people are working remotely for the first time as the world tries to slow the spread of a pandemic. But I really think this is broader. I mean, I know so many people like you who are running businesses that are, distributed. You work with people all over the place. You have control over your schedule. You're not reporting to a headquarters every day to run your business. And there's a lot of people like you, and there will be more such people going forward, particularly as people see how many jobs can be done, at least partially remotely and with flexible hours and things like that. So yeah, I want to share tips for people who are figuring it out, figure out how to build your career, how to work productively, how to build your network, all of those things from the New Corner Office, which might be a corner of your kitchen at this point, but you can still build an empire from there.
And so this is extremely timely. Was this you had been, or was this something where you just saw? How did this new podcast? Because for those who don't know, this is Laura's third. This is her third podcast series. How did this come about? Of it was already happening, or you seized the moment?
Well, it was really seizing the moment. I've been doing an every weekday morning podcast with iHeartMedia for the past year that's called Before Breakfast. And that's, same format, a quick productivity tip every weekday morning, take your day from great to awesome. We've had great listener response from that. It's grown. So that was really fun. And I had recently checked in with the team at iHeartMedia to see how year one had gone. And so we'd recently talked, we're all happy. And this at the exact same time, the whole coronavirus thing was hitting. And I know they had a lot of advertiser interest in content that was aimed at people working from home. That was certainly something that there's a lot of small business marketing, even home decor or small business services, things like that, that people might be interested in for the first time. So they'd had a lot of advertiser interest. And so they talked to me about what we could do with this. And so we decided to put more of my career content into this new podcast, which we decided to call The New Corner Office. So yeah, we launched on April 1st, had started talking about it probably like March 16, March 17. So it was a 2-week launch. So that's pretty quick.
Yeah, you gave me the heads up, be like, oh, by the way, wait for it. I'm launching a podcast next week. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, okay, here we go. How does this happen? That's actually good to know that. Obviously a lot of the mechanics were already in place for you. So it wasn't as though you launched in 2 weeks starting from scratch. But when we talked about it, one of the things you said was, well, it was actually, a timely seizing the moment, but it was also a bit of a pivot for you, right? In terms of what else is going on in the world.
Well, so I've spent the past 3.5 years since I gave a TED Talk in late 2016, really building up my speaking business. And that has been a ton of fun. However, I am pretty sure that will not be a growth area in the next 6 to 12 months. And some of it will come back. I mean, the small scale corporate speaking market, people are still going to have internal events. They still need to motivate their own employees. That will still be there. It will come back in the next 6 months or so as people start gathering again. But I think it may be a while before people will willingly go hang out in a convention center with several thousand of their closest friends. I mean, people are going to feel scared to do that. So
Right. Right.
the big conference speaking stuff is going to be slower to return. So if that is the case, then I need to do something else with my time.
Right.
Everything's been canceled for the next 3 months anyway. But
Right.
so I have that time, and then understanding that the business will be slow over the next year after that. This really seems like a good time to make something of a pivot, knowing that, once I really got my legs under me and a good rhythm with all this podcasting, hopefully by that time, the speaking will be on its way.
Right. Right. And you mentioned, I'm going to start going back and forth to the process as well as the content, but with regard to your content, you said focusing your career advice, but and a lot of your, career expertise. I also have to imagine, Laura, that your time management work and expertise is playing in here, especially for people who are just now coming home, right? Like they're totally having to rethink their whole schedule, right?
Yeah, and it turns out that a lot of that stuff, it's topics we've covered in Before Breakfast, but we can put it in different ways. It's topics I've covered on my blog. Figuring out how to work in different ways is important. And I think a lot of people are very frustrated by different aspects of this new way of working. And I want to also be a voice of hope and reason, that it won't always be as crazy as it is. Like most people will not have to continue homeschooling their children, and not having childcare and things like that. This is a different sort of way of working from home than it will be maybe in a couple months when things are different. So right now there's a lot of kind of crisis management. However, I found over the years that even when things are in complete upheaval, there are ways that you can stay productive. A lot of it has to do with limiting your to-do list, with setting very measurable, discrete goals for each given day, for celebrating when you get through them and then letting it be, and then starting again the next day. You can get through 3 things. You won't get through 20 things. People make the mistake of saying, I'm going to get through 20 things, and then you're not, and you're frustrated and you want to give up. But, 3, sure, you can do 3.
Right. Right. And those may be very different, not quite as career related as they might have been while we're in crisis mode, right? Like it might be also feeding the group that you now are responsible for feeding 3 meals a day.
Yes, exactly.
And everything else. So, Laura, how do we hear the new, where do we go? You're on all the major platforms?
Yeah, so it's just called The New Corner Office, and it's on all the major platforms, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you happen to go to listen to your podcast. You can just search The New Corner Office, and it will come up. Of course, people can also visit my website, which is lauravanderkam.com. That's just my name. And so there are links to all my podcasts there and my other projects as well.
Okay. All right. Laura, thanks so much. Congratulations. Tune into the New Corner Office and good luck. I'm sure it's going to be another smashing success like your other ones. And thanks for your time. I hope you get a little more quiet time after this.
Let's hope.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.